Oh yeah, it's just me sports, GM Sports with the double O, okay, on Wugbolu. When I came your way last time, I talked to you about sports and stats as regards the African Cup of Nations, the 32nd African Cup of Nations ongoing in Egypt. Today, let's talk about something else. This time, let's talk about money and football. Remember, we said we're bringing you sport and gists on a regular basis, and predominantly we're talking football. So today we're also talking football. What is it about football and money? If you hear the amount of money footballers make, oh no, you wish you've started playing football and continued playing football up to the point where you call it a career. I did play football when I was much younger. I played football on the streets growing up in the city of Port Harcourt, Nigeria. We played football on the streets in what we called monkey posts. You know a monkey and the post? I don't know how we got that nomenclature, but that's what we called it. We played on the streets with our bare foot and we enjoyed playing football. Some of us were real good, and before you know it, at a later stage, we started playing in big fields, 11 versus 11 and all that. But you know what? Our parents, so many Nigerians have the story. Our parents always chased us from the football field. They stopped us from playing football. They did not encourage us to play football because they felt that football was for dropouts. They have to go to school, get the good grades, and end up living from a white-collar job. That's what they wanted us all to do. Nobody talked about playing football. The few people that made it in football then asked the Yakinis. Yakinis, it was still early. God bless us soul. The Odegbamis, the Adokia Mesimakas, and the rest of them, they play football then for the passion. They play football for the love of the game. And those of them that made it to the national team, they played football to defend the honor, the badge, the jersey. That's what they did that for. But right now, in this age, in this time, can we say our footballers play football because of the passion? This is serious business. So let me sit and let's talk more about this. It's just me sports with the double O. We'll be right back. Alright, we are back and we're still talking sports. Just me sports with the double O. Today we're talking about money and football. And my focus, the subject matter I want to use to talk about this is the Super Eagles of Nigeria. Currently, they are at the African Cup of Nations. That is the 32nd edition of the African Cup of Nations ongoing in the land of the pyramids, the land of the Pharaoh, Egypt. That is where the competition is being staged. In the round of 16 tie between the Super Eagles and the indomitable Lions of Cameroon, Nigerians are skeptical about Nigeria winning that game because we're coming up against the defending champions and arch rivals Cameroon, especially after Nigeria lost 2-0 to Madagascar in the last fixture. So people were tensed. By the end of the day, the Super Eagles won 3-2. Before that game, the head of ITO Group, the man, Benedict Peters, promised the Super Eagles $25,000 for each goal. They ended up scoring 3, so that was $75,000 for the entire team. The match bonus for that game was $12,500 for each player. Apart from that, the government representative, Captain Jose Okumbo, he promised the team $20,000 for each player. So money was coming in from all angles. Add that to the $5,000 from Babajide Sanwo-Olu, the governor of Lagos State, and you found out that the Super Eagles had so much money. At the last count, minus the money that was for the entire team, at the last count, each player had 13,500,000 naira. This time in naira, if converted, the entire money each player made for that game alone. For the quarterfinal game, the win against South Africa, the match bonus was $15,000. $15,000 in naira is 5.4 million naira. So by the time these players progressed from each game, first round win was $10,000, which is 3.6 million naira. By the time you start adding all these figures together, you find out that if the Super Eagles come up as winners of this tournament, each of these players will have so much money. And people are saying, these guys are already millionaires. Picture someone like Samuel Chukwueze, the man of the match against South Africa. That lad is just 20. If you could make from football 13.5 million naira in one day as a Super Eagles player, that is just for the game against Cameroon. We've not even added the amount of money that was given to the whole team to share. This was the one that was promised individually. And you think about it, the kind of money in football, you want to smack yourself and say, why didn't I play football? Why did I stop playing football? Why did I end my passion in football? But the question is football all about the money? What happens to patriotism? What happens to playing for honor like the players of old did? Someone said, these guys are working for the money. After all, in local parlance, we call it what? Work job. So when they work, they eat. There's so much glamour around football, which means right now, if you have a little kid on the streets playing football, a parent wouldn't smack him. What would the parent do? Encourage him. A good number of the Super Eagles players, they do not have a first degree. Most of them only have a YX certificate, a senior secondary school certificate, no first degree. Very few of them have gone to the university. And you can always decode when they have interviews. You see the way they speak, this one is not so educated. Add that to what these players earn as individuals. Odion Igalo earns $260,000 a week for his Chinese club, Changchun Yetai. $260,000 a week. Mikel Obi was earning £100,000 a week for Middlesbrough before he moved to Turkey recently. Alex Iwobi earns £70,000 a week for Arsenal. Wilfred Ndidi earns £50,000 a week for Leicester City. Ahmed Musa earns $60,000 a week for his club in Saudi Arabia. So these guys are raking in so much money. So what am I saying? Is football all about the money? When you have players that earn so much in the clubs and you come down to the national team, shouldn't there be this issue of fighting for the badge? Recently, the Super Eagles, just very recently, staged a protest against the football body, the NFF, the Nigerian Football Federation, just before the game against Guinea. They wanted the rights. They wanted to be paid. And people ask, why don't you play this football first and get paid later? What happens to patriotism? Also recently, the under-20 national team, the Flying Eagles, were in Poland. They got eliminated in the second round against Senegal, losing 2-1. They refused to board the plane to come back home. They were asking for their bonuses. They were asking for their allowances. It didn't end there. The Super Falcons got ousted from the World Cup in France. They refused to enter the plane. They were asking for their bonuses. Even if you want to go far back to 2017, after the Super Falcons won the Afcon, the African Women Championship in Cameroon, they refused to come back home. They staged a protest for a few days asking for their allowances. It makes me wonder, do they play this football just for the money? Or do they play it for the badge? Someone comes to mind when you talk about playing for the money or playing for the badge. Courtney DK. She was a Super Falcons player at the last World Cup in 2015. She refused her match bonuses. She said playing for Nigeria was an honor. Think about this. Should players play to honor the badge, or should they play for money? That's about all we're going to talk about today. Catch ya. I am the Double O, and this is Gist Sports. Don't forget to subscribe.